Figma has released amazing new features on Config 2023 and let's check them out. I'm going to take you through 4 of the features and we're going to make a quick design for them. So let's launch Figma and check them out. Let's begin with variables. So variables are basically a new way of defining design tokens in Figma and they make your work really easy. And let's make a design to really find out how they work. So make a frame, open up the Unsplash plugin or choose any picture of a cute plant and put it into the frame. Next, write the text for a cute little plant. Select both the elements and Shift-A to create an auto layout. Control or Command-D on the text to make a duplicate of it, and choose both, and again Shift-A to make a auto layout and change the direction to vertical. Make the height as fill container and make the gap as auto. Choose the second text, go to the font selector, which is completely redesigned. It looks so much cooler, it shows your fonts beforehand. Choose a simpler font, make it thinner and smaller, and that'll be our secondary text. Next, like everybody and their mom, use ChatGPT to get some description about the small little plant. Copy and paste. That's your item description. Edit some of it out if you don't need it. Control or Command-D on the text again. Change it to the price and change the font to be bold. Put the whole thing in a frame and change the colors to your liking. Make an add to cart button which fits in the card using the icons you like. Chuck that in with your price, make a horizontal auto layout and set the gap as auto. Now deselect everything and on the right side menu you should see a local variables button. Click on it and a menu should pop up. Click create a variable and choose a color variable. Make variables out of the colors which you used and be sure to name them. It's going to be important. To make multiple variable modes, which is basically a dark theme color palette and a light theme color palette, you need to move the project into a theme. Name the variable modes as dark and light and create all the color variables and change them according to your light and dark color palette. I don't have a color palette here, I'm just gonna eyeball the dark colors because I'm a pro like that. I'll put the cards we made in a section and name them light and dark. Sections are basically new types of containers, which is basically important to mark the designs done or not done for development purposes. Alt and drag the card from your light section to your dark section. The sections could have been framed, I just wanted to show off the new container they added. Select the dark section and go to the right side panel again where it's written layer. And you should see a variable icon. Click on that, go to collection and go to dark mode. And there you go. That's the advantage of having variables in Figma right now. And you can just make a screen for one color palette, take it to another section or a frame, and boom, there you go. It changes color palette like that. And this could be used for other things like corner radius, shadows, elevation, and whatnot. So yeah, that's gonna save you a huge chunk of time. Like almost about half the time that takes you to make the light and the dark mode color palettes. Such a time saver. Feature number 2, advanced prototyping. Basically, this is coding for designers who know logic but are too lazy to learn coding. That's me, by the way. Create a quantity selector component with like plus and minus buttons and choose that along with the add to cart button you made and create a component set with them. Now again, deselect everything. Go to create a new variable and name it Bob or whatever. Choose a number this time and I'm going to name it card number for now. And write the default value for that variable, which in this case is going to be 1 because when you add something to the card, it shows 1 and then you can add more. Then choose the text on the quantity selector and apply the variable which you just made to that text. Now go to the prototyping tab and choose the add to cart button, drag it to the quantity selector and it should change on clicking the add to cart button. It should change to the quantity selector. Then choose the plus button on the quantity selector and add an interaction manually on the right side menu. Now choose on click and then set variable and choose the variable which you want to affect. In this case, it's the cart number. Choose that again and choose the operation you want to perform on it. So this time it's going to be add, so +1. So each time we click on the plus button, it's going to add 1 to the quantity selector text. Make sure to put this component into the design you made in the card before, and there you go. Whoops, I forgot to set the colors for these buttons in the variables. Just gonna do that, give me a sec. There you go. And wait, I'm dyslexic, I put the plus button on the left side. Let me correct that. There you go. Now do the same thing with the minus button. It's just going to be the same, but instead of +1, it's going to be -1, and there you go. But if you want to be really extra fancy with this, what you can do is add a conditional statement. If the card number is equal to 1, if you press minus now, it should go back to the previous state which is basically the add to cart button. So put this logic in the if section and drag the other part in the else section, which basically decreases the number in the quantity selector. And there you go. Whenever it reaches 1, you press minus, it goes back to the add to cart button. And now you're almost a front-end developer. No, you're not. That's what I would like to think, but... Third feature, auto layout received an amazing update. Now making responsive layouts is as easy as making PBNJs. Choose the text tool, type out appropriate property for your plant. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Appropriate property for a plant. Holy shit. Try saying that 5 times fast. Select the thing you typed, Shift A to make it an auto layout, set the padding, round those corners, select the chip, and Shift A again to make it into auto layout, remove the spacing, choose the chip again, and Control D a bunch of times to put in multiple properties and write all the properties of that cute little plant over there. Choose the whole auto layout and press enter to choose all the chips, and make all of their width as fill container. Now select the bigger container again and set the gap to 8 pixels and try reducing the auto layout frame. Oh wait, that's not it. Wait a second. Alright, click this new button on this frame which says wrap, and there, oh wait, that's not it either. Oh wait, I know. Select the chips, go to the width, there's a drop down, select minimum width, and you can set minimum width in Figma. That is amazing. Make the minimum width 80 and now reduce the size. Holy shit, that looks amazing. And that reduces so much work, but I don't like how it fills up the whole thing, so I can set maximum width too. Select all the chips again, go to the width, choose the drop down, go to max width, set it to 88 pixels, and there you go. It looks amazing. It makes things so much more convenient. Before you had to make like a matrix of auto layouts, like auto layout with an auto layout, that was so messed up. This is still better. The last but not the least, dev mode. Just press this toggle switch on the top and just follow the onboarding. You can select it to show all kinds of codes, SwiftUI, Android, web, but I'm just going to choose web here, and I'm going to choose REMS because only weird people code in pixels. That is so weird. Don't do that. Developers can put in their plugins to help with their work and install extensions on VS Code for Figma to make their work far more easier. Click on the frame which you need to code, and there you can see all the padding, margins, border, all the styles, everything there, which you could see already. But here you can see it in a much more clearer view. And there you have the color palette, all the assets used. You can export the assets from there. You have the color palettes properly listed there. And it also says which theme it follows. Hopefully this reduces the arguments between design and dev teams, and hopefully the handoff is way easier. And lastly, let's just pray to the design gods that all this does not become a paid feature in Figma. Please Adobe, don't do it. Please. Who am I kidding? It's gonna happen, isn't it? Alright, that was it from my side. Let me know your favorite feature from Config 2023 down below in the comments. And hope you liked the video, and don't forget to change the variable on that subscribe button. See you in the next one.